Hi everyone. Today we've got a telephone which resembles the GPO 332, and resemblance is where it ends. There's the shape. Now let's have a little close look. This is quite an unusual phone, by the way. I'll show you what is on this phone if it comes up. I hope it does. There we are. That's the trademark of this phone. It's I don't know how you pronounce the name, but it's Prchal Ericsson from Praha-Kolin. There's the name again. Nice and clear. Now, this is a well-made phone. Unlike the last one I put up, which was cheaply made in my opinion, but this one is well made. Obviously with the Ericsson's name associated with it. This is what you'd expect. And I'll show you the handset is also like the last one. But this is a well made handset, by the way. And the ear part, or the where you get your sound from, thinking of the name of the thing there, has got a diaphragm which is loose, which is also similar to the 332s. So it wasn't a capsule, it was built into the there. Now the transmitter is a capsule type, which is very similar to the last phone I showed. So yeah, they're very well made phone and quite heavy. If you've got this in your hand, you know you've got something. It's quite heavy. The wire from it, or the cable cord, is this twisted fabric cord, which is also reminiscent of the old 332s before they introduced or replaced them with the twisty cords. Cord to the block terminal is also a braided cable, and the box it goes to is that with the same little symbol on the top. This is actually a metal cover clipped over, well made with your terminals inside. Now leaving that, let's just have a quick look, as I've taken all the bits out so you can see it easily. Here we have the diagram, and it looks like this is a model SF34. SF34. The diagram. Always important to look at the diagram and see it closely. The video can always be stopped while you take a good look at the diagram. Now, as far as I know, this phone is probably from the 40s. It might even be earlier. There's a lot about this on Google. If you look that name up that I've just gave you, there's quite a bit on this phone. It was also tied up with the World War II as well, as regards the factories. So it's quite a bit of interest in this. Now I'll have a look at the belt. Now I've opened up, as you can see, that is the back. Now I took these out. As you can see, a little bit of rust on the bell. We expect that after that age. What's also interesting, the screws are brass. They're not sort of a plated white metal type. They're a brass screw. So be careful screwing it on. Don't over tighten them because you'll strip them or just break them off. The bell clapper as well is also in brass. This is, in my opinion, a very well made phone. There's your ringer. The coils are covered over and lacquered. Your terminals, good old-fashioned type terminals, which is old-fashioned. It's an old phone. Turning him over. See what we've got here. We've turned him over. Anti-side tone coil is also been lacquered. And up the cradle. And operates your springs on the left, so if the wires are in the way. Another little look. There we are. And the rear side of your terminals. Notice the quick release to the case. These two little pieces here slips under a screw, so to get this out you don't have to take the screw right out, just loosen it and that slips out. The other side is held with a screw that you have to take out. Now let's have a look at the case, or rather the dial. Unfortunately, turn him round. Here we have the dial. Now, unfortunately, I tried to undo those two, which I did. I undone those. That's the retaining strip, and that cover should have lifted out. But however I tried, and I did not want to put any force on this plastic round here because this is Bakelite and it would be quite brittle. So I decided to not proceed any further and just say, well, that is the cover of the dial. But we can't see inside. I do apologise for that. But these are well made, these phones. You've got the case there. See what I mean about brass screws? They're the two screws I was talking about that you slide the actual mechanism under. All brass. So these were well made. And as I say, this is a typical 332 type of case that you'd see on that 332 telephone, and several other telephones, by the way. I think it was the design that Ericsson used. So that, I think, is more or less all I've got to say. You might say, oh, thank you for that. Not to worry. So there we are. I'll put a few little notes on the header to this when I put it up, because I think this is quite an interesting phone. And once again, show you the little picture there, which looks like two people hand in hand. I'm probably totally wrong. It's probably means something else. But anyhow, that's the phone, made in Praha-Kolin. Thanks for watching. Oh, and by the way, the dial still works, but it does need a little bit of help. As you can see, the spring has become a bit weak. Although I tried to get a little bit of oil in there, it still hasn't really helped. But not to worry, it's an old phone, it's interesting, and definitely one for the collection. Thanks again for watching. Thank you.